Are you a musician or a music producer looking for a scalable, reliable way to grow your fan base in 2022? If so, I'd like to show you the most incredible method that I have found to do this after over 20 years of trying all kinds of different things. So this method involves using a particular type of Facebook ad called a messenger ad, where essentially you're pulling people off of the Facebook feed to listen to your music and then inviting them to have a conversation with you. And so after having 180 conversations that have come in through these ads over the course of the last month or two, I can confidently say that this is by far the best way for a musician to grow their fan base. Why? Because it's cheap. I've only paid an average of $1.09 per messenger conversation, and it works. I made my first sale to a new person who had never even heard of me or heard my music before within 15 days, and within 25 days, I was profitable on my second sale. So this is super powerful. And I want you to notice that I started out paying $1.82 per messenger conversation, but as time has gone on and I've optimized my ads and been able to get things working better, the cost has gone all the way down to now, in the last few days, I'm getting messenger conversations at only 44 cents per conversation, and people are watching a much greater length of my videos that I'm running for these ads. So if you want to see how I did this, and if you want to do this yourself, then I'm going to break down exactly how to do everything involved with this, because it's more than just the ads. You've actually got to build a system here, but it only takes about 30 days to do it. So let me get into what's necessary. So in order to build a fan base quickly, you need three things. First thing that you need is a good business model. Second thing you need is a good audience. The third thing you need is a good engagement process. So when you have all three in place, what you can do is you can invest money into advertising to get new listeners, some of which will convert into fans because they already like the kind of music you make before they even hear your music. Then you can convert some of those new fans into customers so you can get a return on your investment greater than what you initially put in. After that, you can reinvest your return to get even more new listeners, and then you can repeat the process to grow your fan base exponentially over time. So let's get into what each of the three components allows you to do. So a good business model allows you to do business with people at a wide range of economic levels. It also allows you to maximize the average value of a fan, and it allows you to make significant income from a relatively small fan base. But what happens when you have a bad business model? Well, you don't have a reliable way to get new fans, or a way that's scalable, or to even convert your current fans into customers. Therefore, it doesn't really matter how much music you produce, how good your music is, how long you've been making music, or how many releases you put out. You won't be in control of how much you're making, which means you're either going to be stuck at the same level for a long time with just a small number of fans and customers, or your income won't be reliable. So also, the cost to acquire a fan when you don't have a good model is lower than what that fan is worth, which makes it impossible to grow a fan base rapidly because you'll lose money trying to do it, and you need some other source of income just to sustain making music, holding events, or whatever else you're doing with your music. So let me give you an example and a story of a bad business model. When I started out trying to release music, I actually started a record label, and I was releasing mostly my own music, but some friends and clients and things like that. And I thought that because I got distribution that I'd be able to, finally make good money from my recordings. Well, it turned out that what I was making was almost nothing, and I was putting all this time and all this effort in, and the royalty payments I was getting back from the sales of the tracks were pathetically small. Even for a fairly large catalog of music. So the reason for this is that I had a bad business model. So I was taking songs, which, I had to take production costs out of producing these songs, and those production costs were pretty high. And then, I was sending these off to a record label. Later on, I became the record label, but at first, I had one, and of course the record label's got to pay for marketing. When I was a record label, I had to pay for that. So now I have more costs involved. And then I had to send that song off to a distributor, which I would then pay the distributor a fee. So those flat fees you pay for distribution, on TuneCore and CD Baby and DistroKid also showed up with all of this. And then the distributor sent the song to iTunes, Spotify, and Beatport, which, were selling my song for $1, maybe getting subscribers at $10 a month. Beatport would sell it for a little bit more. But what would happen is that these stores would take 30 to 51% or 70 cents to I would wind up with 70 cents to 3 cents per sale or stream. And that's what the distributor would get, right? After they took their 30% out, I'd wind up with only this much out of the $1 sale or whatever, or the $10 subscription. And then after the distributor took their 7% to 30%, which distributors often will take, then they sent that to the record label, which then took half of that, and I only wound up with 28 cents to sometimes nothing and a payback from the record label. Some record labels literally paid me nothing. So that's what I mean by a bad business model. So what happens when you improve your business model? Well, the first thing is you get new fans in a way that allows them to easily become your customers instead of the customers of a giant corporate platform that doesn't really care about you or them. That's important to have your own customers. And no, when someone buys a song on iTunes or Beatport or something, they're not your customer. So also, you can communicate and sell directly to your fans, not just your customers. This saves you an immense amount of money in the long run because you're not paying huge commissions to online stores, distributors, and record labels. You can make double or triple or even orders of magnitude more income from the exact same audience using a very similar engagement process simply because you have a better range of offers available. It's important to have a range of offers available, not just be selling individual tracks at $1 a piece and allowing people to stream your music and getting paid, a third of a cent per play or something by Spotify. You also get more new listeners in a shorter period of time because you're able to invest more money into advertising. So let me give you now an example and story of a good business model. So a good business model is going to start with a diverse offer stack. And what I mean by this is I can give you a little story. When I used to sell merchandise with my dad on tour, there was a point where he had the idea to start auctioning off these signed guitars for $1,000 a piece, and everything else on the merch table was only $20 for a CD, and maybe $30 for a t-shirt, $40 for a hoodie. When we put that guitar in there for $1,000, suddenly we were making more than double the amount of money every single night from selling merchandise because we had diversified the offers we were making to the crowd, and it was the same audience each time. The audience didn't really change, but just because we had one additional offer at a higher price point, we were able to literally double our sales. So you need to have these additional offers, and I recommend $7,000 to $15,000 are a good range, and you need 3 specific offers in there. You need a loss leader to acquire new customers. You need a subscription offer in order to be able to pay for your recurring costs, and then you need high ticket offers, which is really where the profit lies. So then you're going to set up payment links so that people can pay you directly for these things instead of going to some kind of online store that takes a commission. And later on, you might set up some funnels to sell these, but that's not necessary at the beginning. So once you got that all set up, you can run these Facebook video ads and get messenger conversations. And some of those messenger conversations, the people who come into them are going to be a good fit. So you're going to get new fan relationships after going through a specific process to kind of weed out the people that are not a good fit. And then, you can add them into your email list and community and start to get them to see your social posts. And you're going to drive them to these payment links and funnels after you've kind of warmed them up through a specific process. Then you can get direct sales from those customers which only gets passed through a payment processor. No other middleman gets a cut, and the payment processor only takes 2.9% because it's just a standard credit card payment processor, which is much better than those stores. Also, when you do the direct sales, you can get phone numbers and you can get addresses, which are additional communication mediums that you can then use to market your music when you come out with new stuff. So what this does is not only does it put you in control of how many fans you have, but it gives you the ability to sell directly and remarket. And because you're only using a payment processor, you're like, the commissions are much lower. And instead of like winding up with a small fraction of the money, if anything, that you thought you were going to get, you actually end up getting most of the money, and you do have to pay for your ads. But that's the only absolutely necessary cost. Later on, you might add some software in there so that you can sell a little bit more efficiently. But nothing to start this off. There are literally no subscription services or special types of software required. Literally, the only costs are the Facebook video ads and then the commissions that you pay on the credit card processor. Once you have your system working that way, and you're profitable, then you can take the gains that you get from those much higher profit margins and then reinvest that back into more video ads to get more people in and cycle through this whole system. So way, way, way better way to do this than the traditional model that you've probably been using and probably have been seeing and working with and being quite disappointed in throughout your music career. So now I'm going to talk about the benefits of having a good audience. A good audience allows you to easily convert new listeners into fans because they're already into the kind of music you make. It also allows you to build a community around your work as an artist, which has immense value to fans because it's a place where fans will feel like they belong and can connect with other fans who share common interests, right? You can also easily convert new fans into customers because they're the kind of people who go to events, buy music merchandise, and invest in music-related premium experiences and products. So, but what happens when you engage with a bad audience? Well, they don't respond well or at all to your music because they're simply not the kind of person who likes the kind of music you make. And you will get discouraged and tempted to blame yourself for being a bad musician or the world for being a hostile place, which is, obviously very sad. The other thing is you can't turn leads into listeners or into fans because they just simply don't like what you do, and they probably never will, no matter how good you get at it, because they just don't like your style or genre. They're not your people, right? So let me give you an example of a story of engaging with the bad audience. Back when I was traveling and touring and doing a lot of DJing, I got booked to play a college party at one point that was quite a drive to a different state. And the person, it was kind of a comedy of errors. The person who booked me knew about my music and really liked it and wanted to do something different instead of the standard, college top 40 DJ thing. But unfortunately, that person, I guess, ended up leaving the college and was replaced with someone else. And this was after the contract was signed and I had already been paid my deposit and everything. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll go out there. So I went out there, and it turned out that the crowd, did not want to hear my kind of music. They thought that they were going to be able to get top 40 and they wanted to hear mainstream hip hop. And I didn't even have any of that in my DJ library. So it was a total disaster. I tried to play some of my electronic music, but they didn't like it. And then eventually they demanded that I get off the stage and let one of the college DJs DJ the party. So it was very humiliating. It was a huge waste of time. And even though some of the people in the audience really appreciated my music, they didn't dare go against the crowd. So that was a really difficult experience for me, and I got to understand very deeply with that how you don't want to be engaging with the wrong audience. Also, I've encountered a lot of rude people online, even a few rude people who have come in through these ads. So I don't really engage with them anymore, but I used to get drawn into arguments or, start to return people's bad energy. And the reality is you do not need to or want to engage with a bad audience. So, but what happens when you improve your audience? Well, you're going to get an immediate, positive, enthusiastic response to your music, and you'll experience far less friction and resistance in the process of moving someone from lead to listener to fan to customer, because you do have to get them through that process, but it happens really fast when your audience is high quality. So let me give you an example and a story of engaging with a good audience. So when I got booked to play a Psytrance festival a couple of years ago, like I played my set and I didn't really look at it as like a business thing, but I, got a couple of flash drives together with my music catalog on it, made an announcement on stage, said that the flash drives were available, and then people approached me and I ended up selling 5 of these things for $100 a piece. So I ended up making money when I don't think any of the other DJs at that festival got paid, and I'm pretty sure that the promoter lost money because they didn't sell enough tickets. Another thing is like the buyers that I have online from this particular strategy that I'm going to be teaching you and showing you is like they're really receptive. They're very similar to the people at the Psytrance festival because they really like my style of music, and they're very open to buying immediately once they hear that the music is good quality. So, okay, then let's talk about the engagement process. So a good engagement process allows you to learn who you want as a fan and who you don't, super important, and then separate the people who are a good fit for your fan community from the people who aren't, because you don't want people who aren't a good fit for your community or who are going to cause trouble or are going to insult you or are going to be rude or just, they're going to make it a difficult experience for everybody else. You don't want that, obviously. It needs to be the right fit. Then it also allows you to build genuine connections and lasting relationships with your fans. Deeper relationships will pay bigger dividends over time for both sides. So it really helps you and it helps your fans to have these genuine connections. Then you can make offers without coming across the wrong way because your new fans will already want more before you even offer it to them, which is amazing, right? So, but what happens when you have a bad engagement process? Well, you wind up with fans you can't communicate directly to over a variety of mediums, and therefore you cannot effectively sell to. So either you can't communicate with them at all, or like for whatever reason your engagement process isn't working, so they don't warm up and they don't feel a connection with you. Also, like if you have the wrong engagement process, new fans might decide they might like your music well enough, but they don't like you because they either don't know you well enough or you made a bad first impression. Therefore, they won't support you, which is horrible, right? Also, you never really get to know your fans, therefore you never discover what they really want, which prevents you from building offers based around those things. Your music career then can become like a monologue. It's like a one-way street where your fans don't feel like you're listening to them because you aren't. And then you wind up with the wrong crowd, people you don't want to be around or you don't want in your marketing system, which also is terrible. So let me give you an example and a story of a bad engagement process. A bad engagement process is very similar to the way that lead generation was done if you know about marketing, like even just a couple of years ago. It involved giving something away for free, like setting up a free download, putting up a landing page, then driving ad traffic to that landing page so that you could build an email list, and then you would send these email blasts out to that list to get people to try to buy a paid product or service. The problem with this is that you can wind up with an email list that doesn't convert into customers. And because you're paying for that ad traffic, you don't make the money back. And I've seen it happen a number of times with artists on all levels, from being very small and just starting out to even actually being multi-platinum famous selling artists. Even they have sometimes wound up with email lists that don't really convert and new people who come in as leads that don't become customers. So what happens when you improve your engagement process? Well, you quickly learn who you want as a fan and who you don't, and you start getting customers faster than you expect because fans of your music develop respect and admiration for your character, not just an appreciation of your musical talent. This is huge because people really prefer to buy from someone that they really respect as a person, and your music actually even though it's a factor, it's not as big of a factor, I think, as your character, assuming that your music is good enough that you can market yourself as a musician. So also you start to learn what characteristics your best customers have, enabling you to better focus your marketing efforts on people who are more likely to buy, which is great, right? So let me give you an example on a story of a good engagement process. So a good engagement process is when you're still going to get your ad traffic, but instead of trying to just build a list or whatever, first you're going to talk to people over Messenger. And if they engage with you, then you're going to qualify them. And in qualifying them, you're going to see if they're a good fit or not. And if they are, then you invite them to your community, at which point you get them on the email list, get them in a private online group, and then you can start to send them your payment links and or funnels. All of these different communication mediums allow you to do story-based remarketing, which gives you the ability to continue to engage with people and give them like some entertainment value in your marketing content, but then also still drive them back to offers and opportunities to buy from you. Usually that's like at the end of the story or at the end of the content. That way, like, you're starting off on the right foot. And a story of how this worked is really just my own success with this particular process that I'm showing you. This has worked so much better for me than any other engagement process. And I've learned so much about who I need to be marketing to and how to qualify them and who I want in my community. And it's super valuable because it's allowed me to get my ad costs down much faster than any other method that I've tried and actually get money back so that I can increase my ad spend, like I said before. So the question I have for you at this point is, do you want to experience all the benefits of a good business model, a good audience, and a good engagement process with new listeners so you can grow your fan base faster than ever before? If you do, then keep watching because I'm about to make you an offer that will help you do all of this in just 30 days or less without wasting any money on software subscriptions, distribution fees, or ridiculous commissions paid to music industry professionals. What I'm about to offer you is more valuable than a major record label deal because it allows you to keep your artistic freedom, control the growth of your own career, and make a great recurring investment in your dream and your fans on a level you've never been able to do until now. It's called the Fanbase Explosion Course and Mastermind, the best way for a musician to grow a fan base in 2022. The Fanbase Explosion course and mastermind gives you everything you need to grow your fan base. It shows you how to build a wide range of offers at a variety of price points and set up payment links to sell them directly to your fan base. It then shows you how to find and test audiences using Facebook Messenger ads so that you can figure out how to source enthusiastic new fans for your music at a low cost. Then it shows you how to engage with listeners the right way so that you can learn who fits best into your fan community, build lasting relationships with your new fans, and sell your offers to them. So I'm going to then just get into a little bit of, what might some of the concerns you might have be? Well, what if you're not good at marketing, socializing, or relationships? A lot of musicians are introverts and they may not want to do some of this stuff because they might be concerned that they don't have the social skills. And that's okay. This process still works. All you got to do is follow the steps. Everything is templated and scripted for you to make it as easy and as fast as possible. And I'll tell you, I was bad at relationships in the past, but having all these conversations with new listeners made me much better at it. And I get a lot more positive energy from this experience, aside from actually having it be profitable, than I have in most social media interactions I had in the past. And these days, I don't really get on my feed very much because I'm so busy talking to new listeners and fans. So, hopefully that excites you. And the other thing is I barely socialize with people in person right now. And I'm a pretty serious introvert, but I love the process of growing my fan base this way. And I really enjoy connecting with my new fans every day on Messenger. So even if you're not good at marketing, this is a super simple marketing process. It's not complicated. I've made it as straightforward as I could possibly make it. It's not a hard, challenging process by any means. easiest I've ever seen. And you don't really have to worry too much about socializing or relationships. You do want to be able to build a good relationship with your fans because that really helps you in a lot of different ways. But if you're not good at socializing relationships right now, that's okay. This process can really make you better at it because it's going to deliver people straight to you. It's kind of like people walking up to you who are interested in talking to you, at a party or something. It's a lot easier to talk to those people because they're breaking the ice and starting the conversations. So it's not like you're going and chasing people and trying to break the ice yourself. You're literally just like setting up these ads and they're bringing the people straight to you, which makes it a whole lot easier and kind of flips the script and turns the tables a little bit to make it easier for you to get these relationships developed and off on the right foot. So another concern you might have is like, well, what if you don't like Facebook? And if that's the case, I know how you feel. I've got some crazy stories to tell you. Not going to tell you right now, but everybody knows Facebook hasn't always been the most upstanding company. They're huge. They're like a massive media conglomerate. They're one of the biggest organizations in the world, outside of Google. Facebook, however, still has the largest audience and best messaging platform for these kinds of ads. So it's worth running these kinds of ads there, even if you use it for nothing else. And if you've been blocked from using Facebook, please reach out to me because there are ways to get you back on. I've seen a lot of people get deplatformed or, put in Facebook jail or whatever, and you can get back in. It's just, takes a little bit of finesse. So if that's the case for you, don't think you can't do this. I thought, in many cases, like both me and clients weren't going to be able to do anything again. And yeah, we found ways around stuff and we managed to get back on and stuff. So that's okay. You can definitely do it. Also, realize that running Facebook ads and checking your business messenger is very different from being a personal Facebook user because the interfaces are completely separate and you never need to check your personal feed to make this system work. So if you don't like the feed, that's totally cool. You don't need to check it. Also, remember, you're going to be the only, you're only going to be engaging with people who like your music. So you don't need to worry about political weirdness or get into arguments with people. All the weird stuff around social media, it really doesn't apply to this process because all you're talking to are people who actually like your music and want to engage with you. So you're just you're filtering out everybody else, everyone who's not a good fit that you don't want to talk to or that you don't want to interact with. So as long as you use your discernment and you're willing to just, check in briefly each day with, new people who are coming in because they want to hear your music, then you should be good. And, it's probably the best experience I've ever had on social media doing this. So let me walk you through the 9 steps you'll go through in the Fanbase Explosion course and mastermind. So there's 3 stages. The first stage is prepare. This is where we get all the content together to be able to get your ads built. Then stage 2 is launch, where you're actually going to launch your ads and begin to engage with your new leads. And then stage 3 is scale, where you're going to optimize your system, get yourself to profitability, and then be able to reinvest your money back into ads so that you can grow your fan base faster. So the first stage, the first step is to verify your business model and fix it if necessary. We want to be hitting the market with a really good business model. So I'm going to show you all the things about that. Then you're going to create your resonance list, which is super powerful for targeting. Then you're going to create your name drop videos, which is the content you're going to use in your ads. Then you're going to build your first campaign, and then you're going to duplicate, modify, and launch the campaign, duplicate your ad sets and modify them. That way you've got some diversity with targeting. Then you're going to engage with your new leads so that you can start to build these relationships. Then you're going to start making sales because you're going to have relationships where people appreciate your music and they like you and they like the interaction with you, so you can begin to make them offers. Then once you've started making sales, then you need to dial in your profits by optimizing your system, analyzing your metrics, and seeing what the weakest part of your system is that you can maybe kind of tweak to get your numbers up. Then once you're profitable, you're going to be able to increase your ad spend, and as you increase your ad spend, your income will scale with it as long as you do that correctly. You got to follow a couple of special steps to this. So let me walk you through each of these individual steps and say a little bit about the individual things that you're going to learn as you go through this. So verifying your business model, like, this is so huge. And I put the value of this part of the course at $3,000 because I didn't have the right business model for more than 20 years in the music industry. I've seen most musicians, probably 99%, don't have the right business model either. And they struggle because of it. And it's such a rampant problem. And you're going to be amazed at just the power of this and the value of this when you start to see it working. So anyway, I'm going to show you and teach you how to know whether you're going to be likely to succeed at marketing in the music industry or not, based on whether your business model fits the criteria that I'm going to show you. Then I'm going to show you how to build the right range of offers at the right price point so you can maximize the value of every fan. And after that, I'm going to show you how to leverage print-on-demand services to test out and deliver new products. And you're going to do that without having to invest a lot in inventory. Plus, these print-on-demand services can actually drop ship, like manufacture like one piece of merchandise, like a CD or a vinyl or a t-shirt, and then ship it out to your new fans who are ordering this stuff, so you don't have to deal with any of that stuff in the beginning. Later on, it's better to use economies of scale and order bigger things once you know what's selling. But in the beginning, you don't want to do that. Then I'm going to show you how to set up simple payment links so you don't need to build websites or funnels to sell your offers. And this is huge because a lot of people get into, these complicated funnels and websites, and they're really, really great once you have a fan base and you can make more money faster with them, particularly with the funnels. But until you have a fan base, it's kind of like a waste of money, and you don't have enough traffic or enough fans to be able to make the recurring costs you have to pay for those things really worth it. So that's like a huge thing. Definitely got to get that right before you get too far. Then the next thing I'm going to show you is how to create your resonance list. And I value this at $1,000 because the reason why this is so valuable is, like, if you're not working from a list, then you can't really be methodical or systematic about testing audiences, and you have to be in order to find the right one. You can't just be taking guesses and not being, following some type of order or process with this. So I'm going to show you how to make a list of 100 artists you can use for ad targeting and direct outreach purposes. That way, you can begin to really develop an idea of who you're going for when it comes to building these connections. Then I'm going to show you how to find a variety of targetable audiences on Facebook using this list. Not every artist on your list is going to be targetable, but some of them will be, and you just need one. And then I'm going to show you how to determine whether or not it's worth testing a certain audience. So this is a great way to understand exactly who, in terms of individual human beings and their audiences, that you are going to go for with this process. And that having that clarity makes the whole thing work so much better than just randomly testing stuff. Then I'm going to show you how to make your name drop videos. And I value this at $1,000 too, because people spend crazy amounts of money on video production in the music industry, making music videos and things like that. And it's just not necessary to be able to get your ads to work. You don't need to run music videos. You can, and sometimes they do work really well. And I think music videos are great to make. I have a blast making them, but they tend to be expensive, even the budget ones. And you don't need complicated video ads with Hollywood level production to be able to get your ads to work. You can make simple 15 to 30-second videos with your smartphone that work better than most professionally produced ads, which is super cool, right? And then you can quickly and easily get those videos into your computer so you can upload them. So this is not a lot of content in this particular module, but it can save you crazy amounts of money if you think that you have to, get high level production in order to get your ads made. Then I'm going to show you how to build your campaign, and I value this at $1,000 too, because there's so many different ways to build campaigns inside of Facebook Messenger that it can literally just confuse the heck out of you, and you wind up cross-eyed just trying to figure out, what kind of campaign should you build. I'm going to show you exactly how to structure your Messenger campaign for maximum impact, from the campaign to the ad set to the ad level. walk you through the entire process, every little individual action step that you need to take. And then I'm going to show you how to select the right placements for your ads so you don't waste money on ad spend by showing your ad in places where it won't work. Because of course, Facebook wants you to spend as much money as possible and put your ads in all these places, and you don't really need to do that. There's only specific places you want to show this. Then I'm going to show you how to automate the first 2 steps of your Messenger conversation so that new listeners are greeted immediately and get a link to your music right away as soon as they jump into Messenger. That's important that they're greeted and given the link to your music. If they want it, there's a little bit of interactivity there. They can say yes or no. That way, in case you get somebody in who actually wants to immediately talk to you about booking or something, they have the option of talking to you about something else. Also, it's good to give people a choice. Then I'm going to show you how to edit and subtitle your videos on Facebook so you can effectively get people's attention and reach people scrolling the feed with the sound off, because most people who are on the Facebook feed where you're going to show your ads, primarily, they're scrolling with the sound off. And so they're not going to be able to hear you in the video, which is why you need those subtitles. So then I'm going to show you how to duplicate, modify, and launch. So basically, like, this is just about duplicating your ad sets so you can build out full diversified campaigns quickly through duplicating and modifying ad copy. That way you're not starting from scratch every time you're doing a split test. And so then I'm going to show you how to set up split testing between audiences correctly so you can run the winners indefinitely. And then we're going to launch your first Messenger ad campaign. I value this at $500 because you can waste a crazy amount of time building out campaigns manually, whereas if you do it my way, it just saves you so much time. And if you end up testing a lot of audiences and running Facebook ads for years, which you will if you do this process the right way, and and like you follow the instructions and you get to a place of profitability within, a reasonable period of time, which is totally possible, happened for me, like I said, then, you could waste way more than $500 of your own time by just doing this the wrong way in an inefficient type of process. So then once we do that, I'm going to show you how to engage with your leads. And I value this part of the course at around $2,000 because I'm going to show you how to build a lead questionnaire that you can use to engage with leads and qualify them without manually typing out every question and response. And this is going to make it so much easier to have these conversations because you literally don't have to hardly type anything. You can just copy and paste most of what you say. Then I'm going to show you how to discover the qualities that your ideal fan possesses so that you can begin to build an avatar profile, focus on your ad targeting more effectively, and get more people who are a better fit into Messenger. Because you're going to use this thing called the engagement tracker, and you're going to start to get data on people, and that's going to help you really understand like who your ideal fan is, and then you can feed that back into your system to kind of hone it and optimize it. So then after that, I'm going to show you how to start making sales. So I value this at $3,000 because if you have done the right thing when it comes to getting your business model set up right, you're going to have high ticket offers available. You're going to have, great loss leader offers. You're going to have subscription stuff. You're going to have all kinds of awesome stuff that you can make these offers to your fans. So I'm going to show you how to make these offers the right way, however, so that people want to buy them. It's important to make the offers correctly because if you do it incorrectly, then people are not going to want to buy them. So obviously, you want to implement the best follow-up process too, so that you can get more sales in the long run. You don't want to just give up when someone doesn't, take one offer. If they're a fan and they're in your community, you can keep making additional offers, which is one of the reasons why you need a solid business model with a good offer stack. And I'll give you some other tips on this. So I value this, like I said, around $3,000 because if you've got high ticket offers, all you need is one sale to actually recoup more than that, it's gonna, you can, if you do this right and you got the right offers that are appealing, especially on the higher end of the scale, then you can make a ridiculous return on your ad spend once you really get solid at making sales. Then I'm going to show you how to dial in your profits, and I value this at $5,000 because like profitability is something that a lot of people never reach because they don't understand how to do certain things. So what I'm going to show you how to do, which is going to enable you to be profitable, is how to collect your data and do the math so you can see where the weak spots in your system lie. Any system that isn't profitable, it's because some part of it is broken. And once you've identified the part that's broken, that's not really working correctly or efficiently, then you can adjust the weak parts of your system to change your conversion rates favorably. So when your conversion rates go up, then your profitability goes up. And eventually, once you have your conversion rates all solid, then you're going to be able to hit profitability and then increase profitability further and further as you continue to optimize, and eventually to the next part, which is scale. And I value this at $1,000, even though it's kind of priceless to be able to scale, simply because like scaling's not that hard, because once you're profitable, like you just got to increase your ad spend. But there are a few little tricks here that like can kind of come back and bite you in the behind if you're not careful. So you gotta make sure that you like increase your ad spend in the right way. Otherwise, like your profits are gonna disappear. I'm also going to show you how to use lookalike audiences to get your cost per messenger conversation down to a fraction of the cost it started at. And even though you could do this in the dial your profits step, I think that when it comes to scaling, this is really where this belongs, because it's totally possible to be profitable using just interest-based targeting on Facebook. If you know what that is. If you don't know what that is, that's okay. Just know that there's a really cool way to use AI basically to create custom audiences that convert at a higher rate, and you can get cheaper, costs per action. Once you have enough data though, you can't start doing this at the very beginning. Then I'm going to show you how to plug ManyChat into your Messenger so you can begin to automate your Messenger conversations. So I'm not going to go deep into automation. In fact, I'm not really going to talk about how to use ManyChat. I'm just going to show you how to get it set up into your Messenger, and that way you can begin to play around with it. And it's really not that difficult to use. You can absolutely begin to play around and see what parts of your conversation you can automate. But my plan is to make another course on this later, because obviously you got to get through all this stuff first. You got to be making sales manually before you start automating. And to do that, you're going to have to do everything that I've told you about so far in the course. So here is the value summary. You're going to get the part about verifying your business model worth $3,000. I'm going to show you how to create your resonance list. I value that at $1,000. I'm going to show you how to make your name drop videos. That's also worth $1,000. I'm going to show you how to build your campaign, also $1,000. I'm going to show you how to duplicate, modify, and launch your first campaign so that you can do split tests quickly. That's worth $500. I'm going to show you how to engage with your leads. That's worth a couple thousand. I'm going to show you how to start making sales. I value that at $3,000. I'm going to show you how to dial your profits. I make that value at about $5,000. And I'm going to show you how to scale properly. So I value that at $1,000. So the total value of the training in here that you're going to get, I put at $17,000 and $17,500. And I very much can stick with that, because I have spent so much more than that learning what I'm about to teach you. And I have made so much more than that teaching what I'm about to teach you already. And so this is like, it's a ridiculous insane value what you're getting with this, and it blows the socks off of anything else you're going to find for anything close to the price point I'm going to offer it to you, because I'm not going to charge you anywhere close to that. However, I'm going to give you some bonuses. So the first bonus is going to be the flash funnel formula, which I value at $5,000. This is a formula that I use to build a funnel to sell a flash drive, like a USB flash drive, that includes your entire music catalog on it. And this is really amazing for artists that have a large catalog. And I'm going to give you all the funnel templates, the whole system that I put together to be able to build and launch and sell these flash drives. And every single time that one of these things were launched, we made at least $1,000 back from the initial sales, even when someone had a small fan base. Now, when someone had a larger fan base of thousands of people, I mean, we made back sometimes like 35 grand in a week. It's just ridiculous what you can do with this. It's super powerful. Once you've got your fan base at a decent level, like you can hit them with a time limited sale and use this flash funnel formula, and that should pay for, the ad costs in the course all by itself. I would be really shocked if it didn't, if you followed the formula exactly and you used my templates and you did what I say in this particular formula. So this will be delivered to you once you complete and the process and you actually have a profitable system and you're able to scale up. So the other bonus is that I'm going to give you 4 60-minute small group coaching Zoom calls. And I value this at $1,000. And this is only for the first 100 buyers only. So I want to have like a small group of just 100 people on Zoom. That way people can ask me individual questions, because these are going to be mostly Q&A calls. So only the first 100 buyers of this course are going to get this. And then the big bonus here is for the first 5 buyers, I'm going to give 60-minute one-on-one coaching calls. And I value each of these at $1,500 because, when I do one-on-one coaching, people actually end up paying that much. And I barely even offer that anymore. It's very rare that I decide to do one-on-one coaching with anybody, but I want to make sure that, the first handful of buyers really get some access to me personally, and you'll need to reserve your call towards the end of the program after you've implemented. That way I can really help you with some of the more challenging aspects of things like profitability and optimization. That said, you don't need this in order to succeed. If you follow the directions and instructions, I'll still be available to you when it comes to emails and the group calls if you got in before that. So here's a total value summary of everything you're going to get. You're going to get all this stuff that I told you about before, and then you're going to get the 3 bonuses as well if you sign up soon. So the total value if you buy at pre-launch is $25,000 or more. So crazy value. So you're probably wondering, what is this going to cost me? So the standard pricing is going to be $2,997. And that is an absolutely great price for what you're getting. And I've sold plenty of courses for higher than that. I've sold coaching for 5 times that. I've sold done for you, agency work for like 6 or 7 times that price. And people have been happy with it. So this is going to be the standard price. However, if you get involved soon enough, the launch price is going to be half that, because I want to make sure that this is accessible to people who maybe can't quite stretch to that $3,000 mark right now. So when up until the launch date, people are going to be able to get it for that price. However, I'm doing a very time limited sale for this that's really just like invitation only. So you're probably not even seeing this particular video unless I know you and I've let you know that you have a special coupon to be able to get an even better deal. So the pre-launch sale price is ridiculous, and it's only $497. And this is like probably the lowest I've ever sold a course for that has this level of like structure to it. And I will definitely say this course has the best organization and the best system of any course I have ever built. So this is only available for a very short period of time. It might already be gone by the time that you watch this. If it is, sorry, I'm never going to move it back to this price. This is only for people who I've invited into the pre-launch because I want to get testimonials, I want to see results, and I want to be like a little more deeply involved with the first group of people who I already know who are going to be doing this. So now, If you have any concerns about not getting your money back, I want to just completely obliterate those by telling you I've got an unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee on this course. So if you're not completely satisfied with the results you get in 30 days from implementing what you learn in this course, I will refund you. You have to ask for it. Obviously, you got to email me, but I'll give your money back. I have no qualms about doing that because I know that this process works better than anything else that I have ever tried. And I don't want you to be hard up, if something crazy happens and, you're totally unable to implement for some reason, that's okay. I don't want you to be, out, because of this. So there's absolutely no financial risk to you. So let me talk about the timeline for the course rollout. So from March 18th to March 24th, 2022, there's going to be a pre-launch period with deep discounts for my friends, customers, fans, and clients who are willing to share results and be featured in marketing case studies. If you know me, then reach out and see if you qualify for a discount code if I have not already given you one. And no, you cannot share this discount code with anybody else. This is invite only. I'm only doing this for people I know are going to be solid and are going to do the work and build the system. Anyway, so on March 25th, that's when all the pre-launch coupons expire and special launch pricing goes into effect for people who want to participate in the official launch. So that's when it's going to be the $14.97. And then from March 25th through April 24th, the pre-launch group is going to go through the course and implement all the steps in 30 days. If you got in at launch pricing, you're going to be able to maybe get in this group depending on how late you get into the process. But then on April 24th, that's going to be the official launch date, and launch pricing totally ends there and the standard pricing begins after this date. So the reason I'm doing it this way is because I want to take the time to get all the feedback that I can from the initial group of people who go through this. That way I can have a huge number of case studies and look at everybody's different results. And that way I can put that into the marketing so that we can really get this course out and completely revolutionize the music industry with these new secrets that I've discovered. So if you want to help me do that, then jump into this thing right away. Remember, there's no risk to you. And let's get you a massive fan base growing super quickly and scale up your ads, get you profitable, get you engaged with a new audience, and help you make your dream of making a living with music come alive. So if you want to do that, then sign up now, and I'll see you in the course in the mastermind. To get Fanbase Explosion, all you need to do is go here, type in this particular link into your web browser, or there may be a button or a link below in the description below this video that you can click that's going to show you the entire course breakdown and allow you to get in. Yeah. Definitely check it out. And if you know me, like I said, reach out to me for your discount code if you want to participate in the pre-launch.